Howdy, howdy, howdy. Long time no see. Well, I hope everybody has had a lovely day. And I hope the audio is okay and it's loud enough. I might just increase that just a touch. 1, 2, 1, 2. Well, there you go. Hopefully that is loud enough. I hope you can all hear us fine. And I hope you, like I said, have had a nice day, a nice week. And let's turn the volume down here. I'm getting a bit of feedback that I was. So, oh, crikey. I haven't managed to do many live streams in the last week, and I normally try and do a few. And earlier this week, I was trying to do one on, because I do one on Monday for Reagan's show, and then it's kind of all went to pot. Because our internet kept shutting down, because it kept turning off, because the electric kept turning off. We keep having power cuts. Lovely, glitchy power cuts. Luckily we sorted that out, and it was alright in the end. And then I didn't really get much of a chance after that because it was quite hard in the house because the children are quite loud, as in our grandchildren had come to visit. So we're stuck on the plane now and sent them back to you. So you're gonna have them. Although I'd like to kept Grace because she was absolutely gorgeous. She's a lovely, lovely little girl. So I hope everybody is well. I can see people in the chat now. Oh my God, I'm in the shack and I didn't realise how warm it's going to be in here. I thought it was going to be cold. I actually brought a heater in it because it's been chilly nights, you see. But my little legs are getting, my toes are getting cold. So I've got the shoes on. Yeah, but no, it's flipping hot and sweaty. So that was a mistake, wasn't it? Anyway, who we got here? We've got Reagan Elite, number 3, hello there. And, Derek, hello, Derek. And who else we got there? Hello, Grandpa, says number 3, hello there. And Vincent Brennan, whatever. Do you hunt with that rifle? I don't hunt, no, a bit of plinking and what have you. And if we have any rat problems and that, we'll do a bit of, that's because it's hunting, I suppose. But on the whole, no, I don't like killing things. And Perry says, bonjour to you as well. And who else we got? Should be, buy me a coffee, yes, says regularly. Thanks, buddy. And, oh, crikey, it's been one of them weeks, isn't it? It really has. And I've been trying to keep my sort of head above water, what have you, I suppose, and trying to manage to get things done. But when you've got loads of children around you, which I've done me wrong, but that's great seeing and all that, of course it is. But it's quite hard to concentrate, and I was really struggling with concentration as it is. So anyway, please all beat the old like button and that, before we carry on. And today I want to talk about, what was it again? Well, France was putting up their flights, cost of their flights. I say France, well, they're going to impose a duty onto the airlines and what have you, basically to pay for the additional train services. What seems crazy is that a train can cost more than a flipping flight these days, which seems nuts. But that's just how it is, isn't it? Although if you go in, for instance, my daughter just recently flew from the UK and back again to the UK yesterday or last night, and because it's in holiday season, it was about 4 times more expensive than it would have been normally. One of them things, I suppose. And we can thank Michael Gove for that one, can't we? For the preventing families taking their kids out of school, out of term time. Now, not be funny, but my kids, probably my grandchildren, probably learned more being here than they did in school. They were doing all sorts of stuff here, which is pretty cool. Yeah, it's good for them. It's experience, isn't it? We all have to experience stuff and spice of life and all of that. So, hello, Gingers. I hope you're well. And you're a bit low on the volume. Okay, I'm a bit low on the volume, so I'll increase the volume. How's that? Or I could just do it on. Actually, might be better to do it on here. Let's increase again. Oh my God, I might be too much now. How come that's gone ridiculously high all of a sudden? Peaking. Hello, and is it me? Hang on, that's why I moved that, isn't it? Let's try it now. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Is that better? Is the volume okay? I'm using this mic at the moment, which is an MXL microphone. DRK. MXL DRK. I had it quite a long while, this one. We have to operate this through a mixer. The other mic I use in the studio is a Samsung G-Trap Pro, which I really, really like. They're really good microphones. But this one's, I've added a bit of compression on there, because somebody mentioned about adding some compression, because my voice is dynamic. Highs and lows. Well, hello, Mirav. I hope you're well. My dear wife is watching. Oh, hello, Caroline. Oh, you're right, my darling. Wally's okay, by the way. Yeah, I better book a flight then, she says. Cheeky devil. Sounds like money. Sounds like it's going to cost me something. You haven't got kids in school, darling, okay? So don't worry about that. It's loud. A bit loud now and distorted. Okay, let's just remove that. Is that still... Okay, down we go, down we go, down we go. How about that? Is it distorted now? I'm looking at the meters up here and they're below red. So I hope... I'm trying to keep it in the amber. You've got sort of like minus 10 decibels is what you try and head for. Another thing I want to talk about is we've got another story regarding an individual who has decided that their vote, when they put that cross in the wrong box, they've now decided it was a mistake. You know what I'm going to do? I wasn't going to do this, but I think I'm going to have to open this window. Split it out then. Open my shutter a bit, I think. Then I'll get the flies, wouldn't I? Oh my god, I'll leave it. I'll get inundated with insects. Don't want that. No, because it's dark outside, see? And light in here. Low here, says Vincent Brennan. Okay. It's low now. Oh my goodness, it's either high or it's low. Can't make its mind up. Okay, let's do it on the gain on the microphone itself. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Hello, that's got a bit low, isn't it? I can see that. Depends on my voice, doesn't it? Depends on how I'm talking. What's that like? How's that? Maybe that's better. It's peaking a little bit. Crikey. That's the nice thing about the G-Check Pro microphone. It really regulates the audio, the volumes. Yeah, it compresses it. So it's very good. Anyway. It's too low. Okay. Is it okay now? Because I'm almost peaking again now. So it obviously depends on how close. It's very, very sensitive, this microphone. It's really sensitive. So if I'm really close, it'll peak like that. It's peaking at the moment. But if I'm back here, it doesn't appear to be peaking now. So I've just got to keep my distance. Don't spit on the microphone either. No popping either. Don't pop the microphone. That's how we have these pop shield things. Anyway, so. Oh, crikey. Hello, Big Ernie. How are you observing using the binoculars? Illegal immigrants coming over here from Dover. Well, I've been out there. I've been out there looking at them coming from Dover and that because they're desperate to leave the UK. We've set up an immigration centre in Calais for Brits who wish to reside, fleeing persecution in the United Kingdom. Or should I just say England? Probably. Well, I'm also using a new camera. I hope the image quality is okay. It looks okay from my end, but you know how it is. This is it's an Anchorworks C200 camera, and it's better than my stream camera. I'm positive on that one because I've been playing about with it a lot, and it looks quite sharp. It's a 2K camera. It's uploaded now, 1080p mod. So yeah, okay, good. That's good enough, is it? Okay, all right. Maybe you're just luggy there, number 3. Are you luggy? So anyway, I want to touch on what's going on regarding the UK. Not the UK, France, regarding the flights. So I'll touch on first. I'm not going to do the full article because it's quite long. And then I'm going to go into this gentleman who's got some Brexit regret. Some Brexit. So, France is raising taxes on flights to pay for the trains. Right. Oh. I don't know how Ryanair is going to react to this one. Maybe they'll, not worry too much. But on the other hand, they may, kick off on one. We'll see. So France is raising the taxes. Let's bring that up here. Let's have a look. There you go. Oh, look, here we are. And this is in Euronews.green. So France is raising taxes on flights to pay for trains should other European countries do the same. So they're pushing for it, but it's not necessarily going to happen. Now, this is by Ian Smith on the Euronews Green. So the train travel is often more expensive than flying, and that seems to make no sense whatsoever. You know what it's like in the UK. It's flipping terrible, isn't it? Flipping hell, the prices of trains in the UK is just nuts. It's a train, for God's sake. It doesn't need the fuel to take off. It's just a train. It's on wheels or bogies. Not bogies, bogies. That's it. And so France will increase taxes on flights to invest more in its railways, and the country's Transport Minister Clément Beaune, he has announced this week that the move aims to make train travel more appealing by closing the price gap between airline tickets and train tickets. Now, you might know this already, but UK airlines, whatever, Ryanair, what have you, they don't do any internal flights in France, what have you, or in the EU. In fact, because any UK airline, I know that's an Irish airline, but any UK airline, for instance, they can't actually operate like that in the EU anymore. They don't do any internal flights. No. So, many people are shocked by the fact that it's often cheaper to make a flight than go by train. He told the French broadcaster RMC. Oh, I listened to them. Now, it is a similar picture across the continent. It's not just in the continent; it's in the UK as well. Train travel should be cheap. It should be cheap. It was like the people's form of travel, wasn't it? You know, public transport like buses and stuff. No, it's not anymore. It's flipping expensive. And the prices are just so seasonal. It's up and down, up and down. You know, nothing's fixed. That's what I will say about the prices of travel in France, for instance, or in most EU countries. They don't fluctuate like they do in the UK. They pretty much stay fairly, the same. So the report compared the costs of flights and train tickets on 112 routes in Europe, including 94 cross-border connections. And it found that they are almost always cheaper by plane. It's nuts, isn't it, really? Now, why are planes cheaper than trains? Now, one of the main reasons for the disparity is that they're lower taxes that aviation industry benefits from, such as, I don't know, what's that? Aviation fuel and that. I don't think that gets taxed, does it? Now, if you fly from Paris to Barcelona, the airline not only pays no VAT, okay, but also is exempt from kerosene tax. Yeah, aviation fuel taxes. Oh, so I was right. So yeah, if you make the same journey by train, the rail company it has to pay an energy tax and a passenger VAT. This means higher costs for the company, and which are usually reflected in the ticket price. Obviously, if it get passed down to the customer, doesn't it? The customer's always the one that pays, after all. Now, in the climate crisis, we're all supposed to be trying to do our best, aren't we, to reduce our impact on the environment. You know, it makes sense to travel by train. Not be funny, but train travel in the UK is a bit grubby these days, isn't it? Although I must say, the new train on the between Norwich and Stansted is absolutely brilliant. When I used that, not shortly after, shortly after it opened, I have to admit it was a new train. Everything was new. It was just nice, and the people working on the train, were really, really helpful and what have you. Not on the train, but on the platform, what have you. Even the ticket guy kind of checking your tickets and stuff. It was a pleasant experience. Plenty of room. It was clean and what have you. But not all trains like that. This is new, And then you got for the HS2. What the hell's happening with that? Are we seriously think they're cancelling it now? Because that's kind of what the talk is. Talk was flying about. It's going to get cancelled. The amount of money's been wasted on that. Makes me think of like the TSR2. You remember the aeroplane? The jet, the advanced jet that got cancelled. Huge amounts of money got wasted. It's typical of this government, isn't it, really? They do love to waste money. Yeah, especially Alexander Boris de Pfeffel Johnson. Well, he loves to actually gain monies. In the sense of Tory party donations. Give him a peerage. Pretty much. Might get into that in a minute, actually. So in the climate crisis, giving tax exemptions to the super polluting sector is incompatible with the challenges of today, says Joe Dardeen, the aviation director at the Clean Transport campaign group Transport Environment. Well, she welcomes France's plans and hopes it can go further in the future. Now, the TNE calculated that if all the aviation industry's tax exemptions were removed across Europe in 2022, that's what she said back then, it would have raised €34.2 billion. It's not the train that's expensive, it's the plane that's not expensive enough. The CEO of the SNCF, which is basically it's the French rail network here, Jean-Pierre Faraudot, said in 2021, I don't understand why airlines are exempt from any tax on kerosene, and I pay on my energy or on my diesel. Yeah, individuals are getting taxed, but the airlines seem to be getting away with it. Why is that? Why is that? Why do they get away? Why are they exempt? Now, you could argue that's quite good to encourage, not environmentally, obviously, but it's quite good to encourage inbound flights coming into France, Italy, and various other countries, and what have you, because you're talking about other people's money. Yeah, I'll shave my head again. How about that, eh? Fester Adams. Other people's money. So you're bringing in investment, aren't you, into the country, which is obviously always a good idea. But when you consider in the environment, when we've got a different attitude towards tourism. It seems to be coming afoot at the moment in Italy and what have you, and various other countries, Spain as well, where they're trying to, and Netherlands actually, I did a video about that as well, and the Netherlands, where they are considering not capping, but controlling, making it less welcoming, I suppose, to for tourists. You know. For one thing, obviously, they don't want rowdy tourists, so, you know, the young Brits and stuff like that, they're not interested in them at all. You know, people who obviously are decent and don't cause disruption and throw up and basically their only goal is to get laid, those sort of people are fine, you know. But they're trying to reduce the volume of tourism. Anyway, back into the chat. Should we go back in the chat? I think we should before I carry on that one. Where is the chat gone? Is it there? Oh, here it is. So... it's... oh, here we go. There we go again. Hello, MadMonk33. I hope you're well, my friend. Let's scroll up a bit. William Patrick Fagan. Oh, guess what? I've got some gin. I might have some gin coming. One of my subscribers said he wants to send me a bottle of gin. And he's in the limousine as well. And I didn't realise... no, I didn't. That he made gin. Himself. He has his own gin. And it's not Farage gin. No, it's not that pink, blue, clear stuff. No. Well, they call it white, but it looks clear to me. But here you go. Anyway, white and black isn't technically a colour anyway. So. Hello, one angry pagan. See you there. Billy Kirkshaw, hi. Those Continentals, those pesky old Continentals. Oh, they want to charge us for every blooming thing they do. Well, it's not just for, obviously, people coming to the country, it's those who are already in it. So it'll affect everybody if it comes about. I can see where they're coming from. They want to invest in the rail network, you know, which makes sense. And also they want to create interconnections between different countries as well. I don't know how you're going to do it between, say, for instance, France and Spain, because I think I'm right on this, but their gauge of train in Spain is not the same as France. I think that's right. Maybe someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but I've got a funny feeling, sneaky suspicion. The width of the train track is not the same in France or Spain. No. You might have a bit of a problem when you cross the border. I think that'll get a derailment, I reckon. I wouldn't be a bit surprised. No. So, I hope the audio is clear and crispy, though. That's very important. You right, Wally? What are you trying to do, Wally? I've got Wally in there as well, by the way. You should probably tell him. What's up, fella? What are you looking for? Do you want a treat? I'll whine about him at the moment because I'm trying to keep him with me at the moment because he's had 3 fits in 3 days, which is deeply concerning. It really is. You know, like epileptic fits. So I'm trying to be with him all the time. You know why? He's been quite bright today, I must say, though. But he's also been wonky on his legs as well, because his feet is a bit doddery. And he's had, it's like an epileptic fit. I don't know what. Do you want one of these? You want it now, do you? Oh, he's going to eat it now. Okay. You didn't want them earlier. Put that there for later. Do you want one of them later, do you? You need your own little chair over here, don't you, boy? Somewhere there. Not by the microphone, though. Somewhere. Maybe there. You need like a little Wally perch. That's what we need. You need a Wally perch. What do you reckon? Anyway. You can't see him, maybe, but yeah. I can't move the camera at the moment. It's in a fixed position. So, okay, where were we? Let's come down about there, I reckon. Hello, Suzanne, I hope you're well. Harvey once looked in the cost of tickets to go on the Eurostar, then on to Scotland, and he said the rail pass for 1 year would cost less. Blimey. Perhaps we'll be able to bypass England and use a ferry. That's nuts. That's nuts. It's crazy, isn't it? Oh, he's got on the bed now. He decided he's got to go on the bed. Yeah, I've got a bed in there as well. Sometimes if I just... Because I have a lot of late nights, as you can probably imagine doing this game. And if I want to have a bit of a siesta, I come in here because it's quiet. Really quiet. If you wonder what this is, our shack is actually an old caravan that I've literally ripped to pieces. So it's it's like a little metal box, really. The wheels are still on that mind. So anyway, my ex Martin-in-law will be okay and got the broomstick ready to go. Is that right, Sir Larry the Cat? Oh, okay. Oh, sorry. Angry Pagan says, it's now like a tenner just to go from Torbay to... Oh, my giddy aunt, really? Possibly one of the only reliable services the UK has left. It's such a shame, though, isn't it? We had a fantastic network of... Well, rail network in the United Kingdom. And most of those old railway lines, they were gone, haven't they? You know, they'd disappeared in time because they weren't... the car... It's pretty much destroyed that, hasn't it, really? And now we're kind of trying to do a full circle and go back to public transport again. And it's the same here in France. The network of trains and trams here in France were intense. Now, I'll tell you, even where we live here in France, I'm in a little hamlet. You know, you've seen my little videos, what have you, of where we are. We're in a little hamlet here in France, but literally 900 metres up the road, there is a tram station. Every hamlet was linked. The networking of trams here, trams and trains, was phenomenal back, before the car really become the essential form of transport, and it's phenomenal. But all the old train stations are there, and a lot of the old railway links have been utilised into pathways now, rather, and it's rather. I can't even say it now. Bleh. Have a drink. Be careful, I'll start coughing. I finally went to the doctor for my infection. First I thought it was just viral, but it's not. It's bacterial. I've got antibiotics now, so I'm going to get shot at that. I'm so hoarse at the moment. Oh, love him or hate him, Michael O'Leary, Ryanair, has done for the working persons regarding flying that Henry Ford did, You can have any colour you like, as long as it's black. What Ford Model T did for the working person and car ownership. Oh, well done, Mr. Number 3. He's now got his star. He's done it. He's been a member for a whole month. Yay! So to the person regarding flying. Sorry, skip that one because I've done that one there. Greetings and salutations, elite people, says Vertigo. Hello, Vertigo. Remember the TSR2? I remember the TSR2. Yeah. Girls were making like mini skirts out of circuit boards. That's a very advanced plane for its time. Cancelled in favour of some American aircraft. Massive conspiracy around it, wasn't there? There's a lot of criticism. It didn't do old Mackie Thatcher a lot of good. Both O'Leary and Henry Ford are, being Irish. Oh, Henry Ford was Irish? Was he an Irish American? I didn't know that. Oh, interesting. Everyone, no, Henry Ford's basically the geezer who came up with the Ford and then the Ford Model T and what have you. Hence the Fords we have today. Obviously, it's not exactly the same company. No, besides, he'd be dead. He's very old. He'd be very old and wrinkly by now if he was still alive, Apply the Thames Water business model. No, don't do it. HS3 free 2050. Is 2050? Is that when Nadine Dorries is going to finally resign? Huh? Is that? Or is it 20? Is it 2040? 2050 when we're going to have some benefits of Brexit? No, that's 2078 or something. I don't know. Whenever it's going to be. Madman, hello, please like and subscribe. Oh, please do. Much appreciated, that it would be. So, 10 minutes from me, Scottish Government investment of more than 160 million at Carstairs Junction is a key section of the west coast mainland, linking Glasgow and Edinburgh to London. Blimey. More than 160 million. Blimey, investment. Well, we need more investment, don't we? The problem is we don't have money. We're running out of money, we are, honey. We really are. Oh, dear. What did one angry pagan say about it? Okay. So, it's rather perverse, really. They are adding stations whilst taking away the ticket officers. Good point. Like my dad working. Yeah, works in. It's just, well, it's... We're losing that human contact, aren't we? We're losing that connectivity. It's not just online connectivity. We need human connectivity. We need to build relations with people. And that's like when my son travels on the Ryanair. He's disabled. And the people at the local airport here in France, which is Bellegarde, they know Matthew. And because he comes regular. In fact, he's coming in about 2 weeks' time. And the fact is, they treat him as somebody that they know. There's a relationship. So Matthew's not worried about asking questions or, there's no intimidation there. Because he knows them and they know him. It's always the same people. You create a relationship. It's the same with anything like that, isn't it? And can you remember, obviously, when they started doing overseas call centres and what have you, there was a lot of upset regarding that with some individuals when you got Indian call centres for the likes of, Norwich Union Insurance and stuff, and they go into Indian call centres. And, although I ain't got a problem with Indian call centres, sometimes it's not that easy to understand. Just like some people don't understand my dialect, In fact, I'm Norfolk. Yeah. Oh, and by the way, I know I say diddly squat quite a lot, but it's not Norfolk. It's actually American, actually. And if I remember rightly, I think it stems from doodly squat, which means doing a doo-doo, a poo, while you're squatting. Yeah, it's a shit. Having a shit. So Jerry Clarkson named his farm shop, or his farm or whatever it is, the squatting poo. Or squatting up a poo. Does he actually know that? Do you reckon or not? Anyway, maybe he does. The lack of human contact, open the pod bay doors open the pod bay doors, Hal. I'm sorry, Dave. Yeah, it was a 2000 and whatever it's called, that film. Carrie King over. I worked for Norwich Union for 14 years. Oh my giddy aunt, did you? What era was that then? My God, because that's, yeah. And then it got changed hands and went Aviva, didn't it? Aviva. There's the other one as well. There's another insurance company in Norwich. Come with S. Big insurance firm. That went in the end. Norwich Union's gone and got to Aviva. Now it's a French company now, isn't it? What happens, isn't it? Oh, yeah. Jeremy Clarkson had to recall his cider because it's potentially combustible. I bet what's happening, it's still fermenting in the bottle, isn't it? And then it's just exploding. Now, when you bottle beer, what we tend to do is we tend to put like a little bit of sugar in when time of bottling, and it gasses it up, and you put your lid on, and you get your fizz in, fermented fizz inside the bottle. But if you're not careful, you'll end up with an exploding bottle, especially if you've got poor quality bottles. If it's naturally fermented, not naturally, if it's fermented in the bottle, sorry. Defined Brexit benefit. Defined benefit pensions and IT service desk. Now, I was listening to Ben Kentish earlier on LBC. I don't always listen to him, to be honest. He seemed all right before, but today I thought, my giddy aunt is. And the other day, actually, he was talking about the health service and about privatisation. It's like he's really on the old privatisation bandwagon. It's like he's being their poster boy and trying to sell it. And they're using references that aren't accurate. He's going on about France is privatised and blah. It's not. It's not how it works here in France. It's It's not privatised. You do have private clinics, but also you do have private clinics in the UK. But it's not privatised. It's not a privatised system, and it's a partially funded system by individuals in the sense that it's you have to have an assurance malady. But if, for instance, you don't earn a lot of money, you'll get it free. You get a thing called a complementaire, a CMU. You basically get your entire healthcare free. The other thing about it is it includes your dental, it includes all your prescriptions, like in Scotland. His prescriptions are free in Scotland. Yet apparently Scotland's so terrible as far as the Tories are concerned. The French system is not the same, and you get treated. There is no waiting lists here in France as such. Once you go and see your specialist, which you could see that specialist within a week. Once you see that specialist, you actually, they slap a flippin' diary in front of your faces and says, "Is this date okay?" It's like that, literally like that. There was when I had both my carpal tunnel surgeries. Same for Mrs. when she had a recent surgery, and it's quick. They're very much into prevention here. It makes a lot more sense to, instead of treating the problem, it's about preventing the problem in the first place, I suppose. It makes so much more sense. Cancers, for instance, you could end up having cancer treatment, cancer operations within a week in France. Literally within a week. I know for a fact because a friend of ours did. He had prostate cancer. He went to see the doctor, they went to the specialist. They said, "Yes, you've got prostate cancer. We'll have you in on this day." And it was literally everything within 7 days. I think it was actually 6. It was 6 days. It's not. If they can do it in France, I'm sure they better do it in the UK. If you've got enough staff, that is. And if your staff aren't overworked. Unlike in the UK, some of them are working double shifts, aren't they? Most of them are working double shifts. In France, they're not allowed to work over 35 hours a week. If you're self-employed and stuff like that, it's different, But if you're agencies and stuff, you could probably work more hours. But as a PAYE kind of job, been on the books and that, you're restricted to 35 hours a week. So the nurses, the doctors, and also they haven't been screwed on pay. And the nurses and doctors and what have you, they're not knackered. They're not, making mistakes. Not removing maybe the wrong testicle or something. I don't know, just argument's sake. I'm sure it happens. Wasn't sure when they left a pair of forceps in somebody. If it's Truro Hospital. There's all these, these sort of things are always happening, aren't they? So, I was listening to Ben Kentish. I thought, what the hell are you on about? Now he's gone on about, tonight, I heard as well, he's now going on about the pensions are not sustainable. It's like, hang on, what are you doing there? Right old Tory, he seems. The thing about the pensions, if you say it's not to say people living longer, but we knew this was happening for decades. This isn't new. It's been a gradual process. Not all of a sudden overnight people start living longer. It's poppycock. It's stupid. No. It's been happening for a long period of time, and consecutive governments haven't done anything about it. They haven't acted on it. No. Well, actually, to be fair to Labour, they did actually do quite a bit, and then Tories got in and pretty much did austerity. Bucketed everything up. Destroyed the system, really, I suppose. So, urgent cases in the UK are dealt with pretty quickly. My wife and most of my friends are NHS doctors. Oh, excellent. My son's working in the NHS as well. And, so that's good. That's not always the case. It really is not. I was reading some articles today, but also, crikey, some people with cancers are not getting treated for months. One person phoned up. Okay, who was that? I think I was actually phoned up Ben Kendish's show, actually. Happened to be on, basically. And this lady, a French lady, actually, living in the UK, and she ended up having to take her son to Paris to get some treatment done because the waiting list was ridiculously long. It was just too long. It was over a year. Oh, that's down. Okay, cheers, buddy. Overworked, underpaid, doing bank work or doing work in private hospitals, NHS nurses. Yeah, exactly. Hello, Alistair. I hope you're well, my friend. Thank you very much. I got a stupid chat. Yay. Well, My son worked as a bank nurse in the United Kingdom, and he was earning really good money. Ridiculously good money. And obviously it caused resentment with the other nurses, and understandably so. But they were overworked. They were horrendously overworked. He was working, as a nurse, he basically just as a nurse in the hospital. This is the University Hospital in Norwich, and decided that I'll take this route. I'll get more money and get a little bit less hassle. As in, I have to do less work. Although he was the kind of person, whatever shifts were thrown in front of him, he would take it. Just ain't got enough people. But the actual the problem is it's not the NHS, is it? It's not the NHS. It's not the doctors. It's not the nurses. It's not the quality of care and what have you. It's getting in and getting yourself through the door in the first place. They work extremely hard. They really do. So save the NHS, says Ezra Steinberg, and kick the Tories out now. That's kind of what we've got to do, but we've got no power. We can't do it. We've got to wait for them. It's a general election. It's like, is it the earliest we'd like to see Labour and another government in is at the end of next year. The damage this lot could do in that time could be horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. Oh, cheers, Reagan. Thanks, buddy. You can support all shorts via Patreon. We've got a Patreon account, we have. Oh, yeah. Curry King. My wife is a doctor, says Curry King, at the University Hospital in Norwich. Excellent. Hee. Curry King's is from Norwich. Oh, lovely city. It really is. Well, I can tell you some stories about that flipping hospital. I was there on the site. We're building it. But, yeah. I think I did the other day, actually, about peeing bottles. It's pretty much a privatised hospital. Let's be honest about it. It's, yeah. It's... Ugh. It's privately funded. Servco and all that. I think Servco do the porting and the food, porters, food, linen, the grounds, loads of other stuff as well, moving beds about. It's just nuts. We do have the power. It's called a revolution, says number 3. We need a revolution. That's what we need. If I promote that, would I be inciting violence? It doesn't have to be a violent revolution, does it? It can be forceful but peaceful, can it? If there's enough people, you swamp everyone. Yeah, absorb them. Hello, David. Oh, Marcus, nice shirt and that. Oh, thank you. You look at Paul Hogan. Paul Hogan. Crocodile Dundee. I got the wrong hat on for that. I have got a Aussie hat over there. Yeah, it's not quite the right shirt for that, though, to be honest. Yeah. I like this shirt. It's a linen shirt. It's quite nice. Ring Fence Society, says Billy Kirkshaw. Let the sharks fight for what's left over. If there's anything blue and left over. PFI funded hospitals, and the University Hospital in Norwich was actually one of Tony Blair's babies, that was. Okay, they're toying with the idea of PFI hospitals, and they built this PFI hospital. And the problem I can see with this is that it's no one knows who owns it. We don't own it. We might control it, but we don't own it. It's just nuts. And procurement. Oh my god, I'm sure Curry King and was it Curry King earlier as well when he said most of your family's in the NHS. Who was that? Was it Curry King? Can't see it now. I'm scrolling up. I am scrolling up. There we go. Oh, number 3, prostate cancer was treated promptly via the Welsh version of the NHS. Oh, I see. Then that might be the reason why. Then it's not going to be everyone. Not everyone's going to have bad experiences, are they? That's just silly. But we're on a bit of a slippery slope. It seems. I can't find it though. Can't find it. Oh, could be. I know Curry King was saying this about most of my family works in the NHS, doctors and nurses, what have you. It's just curious, but we'll talk about procurement. You say, well, I've got off topic again, haven't I? Anyway, procurement. Well, I know at the PFI hospital, such as the one in Norwich, the University Hospital, which used to have the Norwich Hospital used to be in Norwich, basically. It was in Norwich. It was easy to get to and that, what have you. And it was in Norwich. Parking was terrible, mind. But now you've got to pay for parking anyway. It's because it's all privatised. The parking's all privatised. Although I used to get out of that. I used to go in ML4 drive, my Minister Patrol, and drive over the bank. I think I lost the ticket. I'm not going to pay full day's whack on that. It's horrendous. So anyway, so I drove over the bank. And procurement is a massive problem. I've talked about this before. You've got the cost of the stuff that's bought, basically. The cost of paper, reams of paper, what have you. Paying way over the odds for a box of paper. It's 5 reams of paper, 2,500 sheets of paper, and they're paying like £70 to £80 a box of paper. A box of paper that you get for 15 quid, 15, 20 quid. Xerox, photocopy of paper. So they're paying way over the odds for stuff. And you've got the kits regarding intravenous, what have you. It comes all in the kit form with tubes and what have you. Most of it gets chucked away. And but they have to buy the whole lot. They can't just buy what they want. Now, if, for instance, we don't need this. We don't need this way of procurement. So it's done on an individual per hospital basis. Why haven't we got a national procurement? Why are we paying way over the odds? Why are we paying 30 quid for a box of gloves, which costs a £5? Most nurses working on the wards will get for a whole box of gloves a day. And how many nurses are there in the NHS? Working on the wards. It's just one thing after another. It's just all this mismanagement and all these outlets of money that allows private companies to be able to extract monies out of the funds for the hospital. It's just wrong. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I'm going to scroll down. Good evening, John Kelly. I hope you're well. Oh, look, looting in Oxford Street. Yeah, there's all sorts of stuff on Oxford Street. Anyone's heard that story? Basically, what's happened is some TikTokers said, let's all meet up and cause havoc in Oxford Street in London. It's latest craze, It's probably a bit of a knockoff, a bit of a offshoot from that Mizzy character who's going into people's houses and stuff. It's that kind of dissident behaviour. And so basically, masses of people, youngsters, are heading down into there's a curfew basically going on down there at the moment by the police. I can't remember what they call it, some sort of order they've called it. And these individuals are just really running down the roads and causing absolute havoc and actually breaking into shops and stuff. Most of the shops have decided that they've shut up their shops and put all the barriers down. But it's just absolute mayhem. Absolute mayhem. It's a bit like the protests in France, isn't it, And that's it. Just looked up waiting times, and Germany's is one of the lowest. Yeah, we don't wait long here, to be fair. In France, we really don't. The other thing in France is, you've got a fairly good idea what's wrong with you before you even get your diagnosis, because you get to keep all your bits and pieces. Basically, what happens is, if for instance, you have a scan. If it's an MRI scan and what have you, what you do is you have your prescription for your scan. You then go up and you booked your scan. You end up in the place doing your scan. They do your scan and then they give you the results of your scan. And generally speaking, in most cases, they will give you the diagnosis of that scan, and then a bit more thorough diagnosis come back later. But you get X-ray scans, you name it, everything. You get everything. It's yours. It's yours. I think that's important, because if you're moving across the country from one place to the other, you haven't got to do a request for data, have you? If you're moving, if you've got to go somewhere else, what have you? If we, for instance, decided we want to move to Germany, for argument's sake, well then we just take all our scans and all our, medical records with us. It's still on a database as well. It's not just in our hands. It's on a database as well. But it makes perfect. It makes logical sense. Might wake me up. What might wake you up? I'm going to grab a cup of tea. Be right back, says Duke. Okay. Oh, a definition is okay on the old camera there. It looks okay on here. That's all right. On the screen, I've got two screens. I've got a little tiny screen. It's a camera screen. It goes on top of the camera normally. And it's what about a little 6-7 inch screen, 7 inches. And it's really bright on there, but not so bright on here. It's too bright on there. In fact, it's quite disconcerting. Waiting times for healthcare in Germany is much better than ours. If Germany's anything like France, well, there isn't really a waiting list. But once you've seen you get your appointment, they slap their old diary in front of you and they say that date, and then how's that for you? And you bash your heads together and come up with a date when you come in. And then generally, what happens is a week before the actual operation, you have needs this appointment, and they discuss with you, the week before you come in. Usually, between 5 and 7 days before. And also, the other thing you have to do as well, before you go if you have an operation, you have to shower in this orange stuff. It's like an iodine solution, like an iodine's shower gel stuff. You wear orange. It's all oranges. Yeah, it's a bit disconcerting. It'll look like a number or Donald Trump. That's what it feels like, anyway. So, hi Jim Dory, I hope you're well. The UK also has to redeem itself in the eyes of the world, and to make sure that these Tory twats can never regain power and have to be consigned to the dustbin of history. Well, I don't know if anyone's seen that. I can't remember exactly what the numbers were, but I don't know if anyone saw the polls that came out the other day. It looks like Labour, even with everything that's going on at the moment and the criticisms, Labour's could be looking at about 480 seat majority, 480 seats, whereas not majority, sorry. Whereas the Tories was about 100 seats. They are going to get decimated. They really are. I don't necessarily think it's a good thing. Don't get me wrong. It's a good thing that we get the Tories out, but I think it might be too much power in the hands of Labour or any party. I'm not just saying because it's Labour, any party. I think that's too much power. It wouldn't be funny. We give the Tories too much power with their 80-seat majority. So I need to say, allows them to do things that they wouldn't necessarily be able to get through Parliament. With that majority, they can put anything through. They ain't got to worry, even consider the Conservatives at this rate, or anyone. In fact, they can just do it. To me, that becomes a bit of a worry. Scroll down. Minute. All shorts. Boris Johnson is Donald Trump's ghost evil twin. Is that a fact? Really? Ooh. Number 3. The Spanish president is more worried about other issues right now than Gibraltar. Well, it's all kicking off over there as well, isn't it? I can't remember what that was about now. I did a video about it. I've a lot forgot about that already. So, anyway, I'll tell you what. I think I should maybe do this one, which is about this gentleman who is having Brexit regret. That he is. Silly little man. And, well, it's kind of tough to eat, if you know what I mean, because quite frankly, he's made his bed, and he's decided that he doesn't like it. No, his bed's lumpy. That's pretty much it. And I wonder if I can find the original article. I couldn't use the article. I had to put it into a document, which I've just minimised it. Okay, there we are. So, anyway, in this article, I've scanned it into a document because it wouldn't format. And it was in the iNews, it was, if anyone's wondering. But either way, there's been a few of these recently, and I've done a couple of just about Italy, and people they can't live in their home, in their Italian home in Italy, because of Brexit and because of visas, and they don't have the minimum requirements to get a visa. So, yeah. Okay, what we got here? Right, so this guy here saying there seems to be a big misconception about Brexit voters. Most people think, including myself, we are racist or uneducated. And that might be the case for a percentage of these voters, but I think most of us were just conned. Now, I don't buy that argument. I'm sorry. I really do not buy that argument. I've heard that so many times. Oh, they were conned. I understand, like somebody mentioned earlier, I think that's in one of my comments actually, that about how they don't think maybe their missus, what have you, would be able to understand politics enough to make that decision. But if you don't understand, you need to be neutral. You vote for the status quo. That's what I think, anyway. But some people are easily drawn down, pulled out their old rabbit hole, aren't they? And convinced to do things because they're told by somebody that they respect. That's the respect, exactly. To do a certain thing, or their lives would be better if they do something. Hence Brexit, put the cross in the wrong box. So they did, and as a result, they ripped themselves out of the EU, and now they're feeling the pinch. It's not just the fact that we can't trade properly in the UK. We've got all sorts of problems. It's just I was reading today that salmon fishermen, probably Scottish salmon fishermen, I imagine, are now going to be losing the digital import-export system because they're doing a trial, you see, and the trial has either come to an end or they decided not to do it anymore, and now they've got to revert back to the old system, so it's going to cost an absolute fortune. It's expensive. So salmon fishermen in the UK are they going to be hit with this flippin' more red tape, but even costlier red tape. So anyway, this geezer here, he says we're not all stupid. I beg to differ sometimes, I really do. Conned into thinking that we have a better future, he said. Really? Now one in which there was more investment in Britain. You don't put up barriers and expect investment. It doesn't work like that. Now, they talked about getting rid of taxation. Now, taxation is a barrier to investment. Yeah, we can all say that, I'm sure. We can all argue that, we've got to have taxation, and I would argue that as well. Of course, we've got to have taxation. You've got to pay for stuff. But it is also a barrier. It is a barrier to trade, and doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get more money coming into the exchequer just because you, reduce taxes, for instance. But you might increase trade, but not necessarily increase taxation. Well, he says more investment in jobs and apprenticeships. How is that going to happen? We're removed ourselves from education systems that our youngsters benefited from, such as Erasmus. Okay, I've got a Turing project. Well, that's a bloody damp squib, isn't it? So anyway, he says he wants more investment in Britain and more apprenticeships. Well, that hasn't happened. And it never was going to happen. It's always a lie. He says you were promised the earth. I would agree, you were promised the earth. Well, not be funny. If you think someone's promising you the earth, you have to ask yourself, hang on, is this true? When you get that email from Nigeria, and it says we've got a distant relative, happened to be a banker or something or other, and he's got $2 million, which he needs to put into a currency, and we'll give you a percentage of that. Just give us your bank details. Would you do it? I'm sure people have. Obviously, these people wouldn't be doing it, but it's nuts. He says I was never a fan of Nigel Farage or Alexander Boris de Pfeffel Johnson. He says I thought they were idiots. I'm sorry, I think you're looking in the mirror here as well, mate. But anyway, I never really bought into what they were trying to sell, he says. I knew he wouldn't be getting £350 million a week, he says. Back from, go into the NHS. Well, that never happened. I know they'll say, they've already had it. No, it should have been above and beyond the pandemic. Money spent on the pandemic. Besides, we saw that what's happened to that was that 39 billion pounds that Dido Hard-On got. What happened to that? How much money was wasted on systems that did not work? Databases on old systems that couldn't over 44,000 entries or something stupid. So it's not going to do 67 million people, is it? Old version of Excel they're using. It's not even the right system. You've been using a database. Anyway, that's kind of the idiocy we're having to put up with for these Tories. They always cock up. Always. They've actually, this Bibby Stockholm thing, the prison ship. They haven't even got planning permission for it. They're sitting there. And now the council's saying, I'm sorry, but you haven't got planning permission. And the government is saying, well, no, it's a temporary building. You don't need planning permission because it's a boat, it's a ship. Whereas the local council is saying, no, it's not a ship. It doesn't have an engine. It's just a barge. It's no more than a caravan that's sitting there. And even caravans, if you have a fixed attachment with a caravan, let's say if you put it on a hard stand or put a little bit of fencing around it or something like that, that caravan becomes a fixture and requires planning permission. And the same with this baby Stockholm. Infrastructure has been laid down around the caravan, around the barge. It's not independent. It's not independent. It has to be independent. So it requires planning permission. And they ain't got it. It's just so ill thought out. Everything they do is ill thought out. Are we really supposed to be paying attention to, accepting whatever comes out of their gobs as true? The people doing this are actually educate people. Educate. They've been at universities and stuff like that. The people in charge of all this. The problem is, it's all very well having knowledge, but you must have... or you must know what to do with that knowledge. You can pretty much be, know everything, but know absolutely nothing at all. You don't know how to implement it, how to use of it. I suppose it's consequential knowledge. You think consequential knowledge is like knowledge that something might happen if somebody else who has the knowledge, but not the knowledge of that one thing, and they're about to, hurtle into a wall, or, somebody's got too long a landing, but one person knows, and they inform them. That's consequential knowledge. Well, the consequence, if they didn't have the knowledge, they'd end up in the river, or the sea, or whatever else on the other side. A cliff, maybe. It's ignorance. Now, I'll tell you what, the most important thing about knowledge, right, is the knowledge of our own ignorance. Understand when we're wrong. You can be educated, you can have an education, but you have to understand when you're wrong. The same with me when I'm working with wood and stuff like that. I know for what I'm looking at that ain't going to fit. I can see it ain't going to fit. Yeah, I know it's not going to fit, because my education in woodwork, for instance, tells me it's not going to fit. Even when I was in university and what have you, regarding my photography degree and what have you, I can see that certain things aren't going to work. We'll be dealing with exposure because I had the knowledge, and also you have to apply that knowledge. You've got to know what to do with it. Knowledge on its own is meaningless. You can be as well read as you like, but unless you apply that knowledge that you've gained for purpose, hopefully to benefit others, not just yourself, well then quite frankly, that knowledge just has no value whatsoever. How many people do you know that read and read and read and read, but you're asking questions about what they read or questions about stuff they ain't got a clue? They've forgotten. Or it's all about the moment. They've read the book, they enjoyed the book, but then they forgot the book. Now, I don't read books generally. I don't read novels or anything like that. I do read a lot of industry papers, obviously, because of what I do. And it's mind-numbing boring sometimes. It really is. But I do watch a lot of films and stuff. And a lot of that is obviously fiction, because I love sci-fi and shit like that, you see. But I love a lot of techie stuff. I follow a lot of techie stuff. And it's a certain kind of... It's techie stuff is the knowledge you gain from techie stuff is practical knowledge. It's almost like common sense. It's like math. Oh my goodness, that's Americanized. I mean mathematics. That sort of stuff. And it's important. It's important that we do the right things with knowledge. But this geezer obviously did not. He obviously didn't have a clue what he's doing. He voted for something that is was never going to work. No, Brexit was never going to work. I've hammered that down so many times now. So he said that I didn't believe that Brexit would mean a better investment. Yeah, I did believe that Brexit would mean a better investment in employment for people like my son. Well, it didn't pan out for you, did it? No. And we'll get into the rest of that in a moment, but I better check the chat because I haven't done it for a bit. And I did see something a moment ago. I've got to... Can't see it now. That's the only thing. Oh, hang on. Did Alistarm... Alistarm, did you do two? Oh, you did two. I didn't see that, buddy. Overworked, underpaid. That was with the NHS. I'll just see another one. Sorry, my friend. I just didn't see. They both come up as yellow blocks. I thought it was the same one. I do apologise. So PFI hospitals is only rented from the companies, etc. 1 million beds, equipment in the NHS. PS, free parking at the NHS hospitals in Scotland. PFI ones, you pay procurement. NHS England took over COVID PPE. I get that. Yeah, well, that's just so they could pretty much screw us, wasn't it? How much PPE was, well, scammed. Useless. It was plastic aprons that like bin bags and stuff like that, and stuff that wasn't usable. We had masks that were out of date, and no, well, half the masks were doing pretty much nothing anyway because they're using ones with negative pressure valves in them. That's not how it works. No, that was silly. I'll just, have I missed something now? I think I've missed something there. We've got that one there, there's a super chat there. Oh, another one. Hello, Alistarm Care. Oh, thank you. Oh, it's you again. It's green this time. So SNP got 38 MPs in a poll, Channel 4. So that's Scotland off because that more than 50% of Scottish MPs, 29 to 30, are needed. Oh, I see. So SNP got 38 MPs in a poll for Channel 4, so that's got you. Oh, conned! Voting to leave the EU, you were conned! They were conned. They were conned, but you had a choice. You know, this was such a major decision to leave such an important bloc. How can you just do that willy-nilly? Oh, I'm going to vote Brexit. It seems trendy. It's the thing you do, you see, it's what everybody does. You know, I'm going to vote for Alexander Boris Johnson as well because he's the man of the people while I'm cutting somebody's hair, you know. Oh, Wally. Do you want another treat, my boy? Have another treat. I'm sorry you can't see him. I need to put the quick release on there. Oh, I could put a second camera up. Have I got one in there? I don't know if I have. No, I haven't. No, I'll bring another camera in there. That's the thing to do. I'm not always going to be in there anyway, but I'll be in the office as well sometimes. So let's just remove that. I'm just going for the chat in a minute. So, come on, never regret anything but Brexit. I told when you Scottish and English asking for Brexit told you so. Don't do it now. All Brexiters are crying regrets. Oh, it looks pathetic. I suppose it does, but you know, the problem is we're all living it, aren't we? We've all got to put up with the consequences. Billy Kirkshaw says, I voted out Marcus to change British politics. When making jam, add butter to let the scum off the top. This is a long-term project. Oh dear. Oh. And in 20 years, you won't find hardly anyone who'll admit they voted Leave. We're getting less and less people now. You've got some people coming clean, like this geezer. You know, fair dues to him. It's quite a brave thing to do, actually, to admit that you're wrong. You know, that is actually, I suppose, that deserves some recognition, doesn't it? If you admit that you've made a mistake. I like those Italian people. Italian. That bloke who bought an Italian house. He can't live in it now, and his only reason he's whinging and whining is the fact he can't live in his Italian house. Otherwise, I didn't realise it was going to affect me like this. That sort of thing. Selfish people. No mind all the other people you screwed over. They obviously don't matter. Obviously, I'm talking about them, not you. Suzanne, WM. WM was constantly cutting costs. Something's about to fall. Cutting costs against the population desire of maintaining both nationalities. Oh, hang on. Just Something's jumped here. Oh, sorry. WM was constantly cutting costs for schools, NHS, etc. by spending more money on not providing what was needed and then blamed the EU for the declining services. Yeah. And wasn't it, oh, crikey. There was a payment, wasn't it? I can't remember how much it was now. It's a lot of money. And from the EU for the UK, but David Cameron turned it down. I can't remember. Maybe somebody can remind me, but there was a payment, an EU payment, that was coming to the UK, and he turned it down for some stupid reason. Because it showed dependency or something. I don't know. Some madness. Well, I'm just going to tell my little Wally's getting anxious, so he might want to go in the house. Do you want another one then? Yeah. Have that, and if not, I'll ask Mummy to come and get you. Cheeky fella. Where are we? I think you might be hungry. At what temperature does aluminium catch fire? I can't remember that. Oh. The barge could be moored in the Thames and the visitors charged to look at the human zoo, says number 3. Do you know what? Don't tell Sue Ellen Braverman because she thinks it's a good idea. That she will. That's on our bucket list, isn't it? Number 3 says, Joe, respond to Joe. Suzanne DeWitt, I know that, but I also know anyone with half a brain would understand not being in the EU means being a third country and all the consequences that come with it. That's very true. That's the thing I couldn't understand. I couldn't understand why individuals thought it wouldn't change. I know that Michael Gove said, for instance, like the guy who's got an Italian house, that it wouldn't, nothing will change post-Brexit. Well, yeah, why are you listening to him? He doesn't know that. He's not in the EU. He's not in Brussels. He's not in the EU Commission. He has no say. He's not an MEP. He has no say. It's just rhetoric, and people believe it. Can you believe it? The people believe it. I can't. It just feels like absolute madness to me. Just nutty. Why do people do that? Why do they believe this stuff? I really don't get it. I really don't get it at all. But they do, unfortunately. Number 3. I understand that, but again, why are they talking about normal consequences as it was events? And they are not events. They are consequences. And the worst is yet to come. Actually, there's a very good point. What Joe's referring to is checks on goods coming into the UK, but also other stuff as well. You know, we kicked the can down the road regarding, actually we've got rid of it altogether, the CE mark, in the sense that we're going to hold on to the CE mark, and we got rid of the UK CA mark, which is going to be replacing it. Well, what about the, getting rid of the EU REACH, which is the largest chemical database? What's going to happen with that? Are we going to wait until the last minute? 3 months before it comes into fruition? Are we going to say, no, we're going to kick that can down the road? Oh, we're not going to do it now. It doesn't even help us that much. It only helps us internally, really. We can't export the stuff unless we actually get the stuff tested and certified in the EU. We're not in the EU. And don't forget, other countries recognise the CE mark. They don't recognise the UK CA mark. Decided to get rid of it anyway. They decided they're not going to do it. The Brexit. You right, Wally? Just set me. Let me just let my dog out. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm just going to send Caroline a message and ask her if she can get Wally, because he's getting anxious. It's quite warm in here as well. Can you get Wally? I told her! Please come and get Wally! I've asked Mummy to come and get you, Wally. Okay. Well, Scott, what have I missed? Well, regularly, don't forget, all sorts other channels. Cheers. Oh, thanks for that, buddy. We have other channels. That we do. When I am fooled, I blame myself, not others. That is, it's, I'm reading a lot of yours, Joel. But it's true, though. That is true. It's true that we're hearing too much of it, aren't we? It's everybody else's fault. Well, there you go. Look at the Tories. They're constantly doing it. And those obviously follow them are constantly doing it. Blame everybody else. Oh, Tories don't get tased. Hello there. Curry King, what did Curry King say? It was unreasonable. Oh, yeah. Personally, I think it's sensible to judge Brexit once we have recovered from two major global events, which are the pandemic and the war in Ukraine. It's unreasonable. Because a lot of the things that are affected, red tape has not got anything to do with the war in Ukraine. That's a major effect on our trade, exports, for instance. We've already got businesses that cannot trade. They've given up. Not just one or two. We're talking about people's livelihoods, It's not just one or two. There's like hundreds of them, thousands of them probably, who decide that they can't export anymore. They've removed it out of their remit. They're no longer doing it. Some businesses are treading water. I did a video actually the other day about there's a perfume company who makes perfumes, they import stuff from the EU to make the perfumes, what have you, and they can't get the stuff back out again. Because everything's doubled up, you see. They can't export it. It's too expensive. Price themselves out the market. So I think I'm pretty positive that you can't just put it all down to COVID, and you can't put it all down to war in Ukraine. We're talking about the perfect storm here, really. Everything is quantitative. That all has effect. I suppose in that way, maybe you could argue we can't obviously get an accurate picture. But I think we can pretty much look at it and say, yes, it is a massive contributing factor. We have a huge supply side shock, and the bulk of it is because of Brexit. Supply side shock is also people, remember. We can't get the people. The farmers, for instance, they're fucking crying out again because they can't get people to pick the crops. They're giving up. They're not sowing the seed. You're not going to sow the seed and spend thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds on seed and fertiliser and God knows what else you need if you can get the fertiliser, if you can't actually harvest the stuff. Why would you do it? They've had 2 or 3 years now of not being able to get the staff to actually harvest all their crop because of Brexit. It's a lot harder. You've seen all the stories, haven't you? Food rotting in the fields. So, is it unreasonable? I would say it's inaccurate. I'm not saying unreasonable, it's inaccurate. Can it be fair? Yeah, that's a major problem, Suzanne. It's that we had a massive campaign of those, obviously for Brexit, what have you, but also we had a rather timid campaign regarding Remain. And then whatever Remain said, it was all, that's Project Fair, Project Fair. And it's the same with the likes of, Donald Trump and what have you. And obviously, then in the UK again, we've got Nigel Farage, and it's all about Project Fair. And one of the advocates for that was Jacob Rees-Mogg. He really pushed that narrative, didn't he? Oh, it's Project Fair. Talking down Britain and all that. And now we've got Rishi Sunak is threatening to put in some sort of re-education camps. If you talk down Britain, I'm stuffed, I am. I'm not going there ever again. I'm staying here. I'm not giving some education. I'd cut my hair off. There's much left. Chop loads of it as it is. The Uyghur Muslims and that. Chop off their head to go into your bread. Have they? Not. Oh, there. She hasn't got my Wally yet. And she's not online. Oh, can I ring her? See if I ring her. I'm calling her now. She probably won't hear. She won't do it, though. He's whining over it. He wants to get out. Yeah, I think it's a bit warm in here. I can hear it ringing. Actually, can you hear it ringing? She won't hear it. If she hasn't got a hearing aid, if she's gone to bed and she's got a hearing aid, she's going to hear it. No. Oh, darling, can you get Wally? Can you get Wally? Hello? Caroline? Oh, she's just seen the message now anyway. Anyway, so. Oh, cheers, Reagan. As you know, we're doing the rewilding here in France. We're planting lots of trees, we are. Couldn't afford a house at the current rate. Tory Pabama. Where am I? Well, I lost track now. It's jumped up. Vincent Brunn says, "It's draft. Yes, my daughter bought just before the US rate hikes. And God only knows what she would be paying now." What is your property price inflation in the US? And does it vary? I imagine it varies from state to state, doesn't it? Quite considerably, I imagine. Now, the property price inflation in the UK was 15% until recently. Now it's flatlined, and it's actually gone negative. So it's, properties are losing money basically. Top smoke. I enjoyed it. What? I enjoyed the Nadine. What? When's she going to disappear? She says she's going to resign with immediate effect. She's still there. It's funny, immediate effect. She's got a really weird idea, hasn't she? My 30-year fixed rate mortgage is 3.25%. That's not too bad, is it? Oh, that's a good point, actually. You have long-term fixed rate mortgages in the UK. It's like 2 years or 5. So you got to keep, rejiggling that about. It's not very stable for people, is it? Very cool. I have a European passport from Finland, and also residency in Spain and Estonia. Lucky old you. I have not replaced my passport yet. No, got too soon. Not yet. UK's biggest mortgage lender will reduce rates by 0.7. Yeah, they're doing projections and not actually on the base rate. So they made an assumption. I'm like doing what call it again? I'll come to me in a minute. Oh, they're making a projection that it's going to get better. So yeah, they reduced the base rate. They reduced their mortgage rates. And that was, which one is that? Is that like the Halifax or NatWest or something? If you are here living, you apply for a European. If you are here living, you can apply for a European passport. Oh, I woke you up. Oh, she was asleep. Yeah, he does. He's whining. I woke Mrs. up. Oh dear, I'll be in the doghouse. I will. I am in the doghouse, as you can see. Well, anyway, let's get back to. You only need a photo card, €65 to pay it. Are you saying I can get a European? Can I get a European passport? Have I got to get another a UK one? I don't want to go to the UK. I help, but I don't want to go there. Any excuse so I don't have to go to weddings. Alright, so I've got a bit of a glitch there. It says I've got excellent connection. What's going on? Exceptionalism. One word, exceptionalism. Yeah. Rishi Sunak responded with, "We have to tackle inflation," when asked about property price rises, mortgages, etc. And the guy is utterly delusional and dangerous. Yes, he is. He's bluffing his way through at the moment. He really is. What's Curry King saying? What did I miss? There's a shortage of workers across Europe, partly in Germany, France, Spain. Actually, Curry King, you got that 100% wrong. We have not got the shortages here that you got in the UK. Nowhere near. Our vegetables are getting picked. Our fruit's getting picked. There's nothing. There is a shortage, but it's not to the degree or the level that you got in the UK. Nowhere near. And also, that would give you an argument. The argument of also saying, well, why would people go to the UK when we've got so much work here? Not going to, are they? Not going to pick your fruit. No. Stop smoke. You distracted me from a PCB design here. Oh, what PCB design is this? Are you making a MacBook or something? Whatever you do, if you've got a MacBook, do not solder in those flipping SSDs. Don't do it. No, we want to plug them in. So we can replace them when they fail. Unlike Mac. Oh! Never buy a Macintosh. No, an iMac, or whatever they call them. They have started soldering on all the laptops, all the SSDs. You know, the little drives that stores all your data on. They now solder them onto the boards and they fail. They fail, and you can't just get them replaced. Now, most laptops, like the one I've got over here, the SSD in this laptop, it unplugs. I can take it out myself and replace it if it's faulty. It's easy. But an SSD in an iMac has to be soldered in. When they solder them things, they use like a very hot air gun, you know, for heat. It's nuts. It's crazy. So I won't buy any of that stuff. I want what's the phrase? Right to repair. That's what I want. That's the problem with cars. These modern cars are a flipping nightmare. You just can't. You can't do anything with them. They're so flipping. Well, dependent on resetting stuff in the computer, the ICU, and what have you. And I hate it. I hate that. Bring back Morris Minors. That's what we want. More Morris Minors. US inflation rate is, oh thank you, is at 3.18% compared to 2.9%. Oh, it's gone up, has it? Last month. They have just increased the, hasn't the Fed just increased the interest rate as well? It's probably why then, isn't it? It'll start creeping up again. And it was 8.52% last year. This is lower than the long-term average of 3.2. What is their target? Is it? Because in the UK the target inflation is 2%. So what is that in the US? That's what makes me wonder. Hello, Billy Kirkshaw. He says, let's jump up, come back down again. We're innocent conspirators, referring to Caroline. Oh dear. Go on then. What do you think of Fillmore House? One side of A4. 5 minutes, go. I don't know Fillmore House that well. I just don't buy into them, and I don't buy into one-sided politics. I just don't. I understand there's somebody that wants, you know, they want to follow what is it now? They believe in Labour. I'm probably going to vote Labour because it seems to me to be a logical thing to do. But if I was going to be voting with my heart, I'll be voting Green. That's definitely. And I don't like a lot of the stuff that's going on in the Labour Party at the moment. I'll be absolutely honest with you. And Phil Morehouse is just like, they can't do no wrong. That's what it seems like to me. But on the other hand, we have to get Tories out. And but there again, are we going to be handing Labour a massive giant laser? Mini-me, stop humping the laser. Yeah, it's a giant laser. Yeah, just so a big wrecking ball, so they can just do whatever they want. I think it's a problem. Number 3, Rishi Sunak responded with, "We have to tackle inflation." He does it every blooming time. Oh, gone right too far up again there. Top Smoke, are you alive? Now I can hear my dog barking now. I only go through a hole and through women. What? I only do through hole and through women. I'm lost. I'm sorry. Was that spiffy saucy? I don't know what it means. Alistair, thanks, friend. No night, my friend. Be good. Exceptionism, yeah, most definitely. Scroll on down, scroll. The Fed's latest forecasts show that the policymakers expect more inflation to still be 2.6% at the end of 2024. Economists generally expect core prices under the Fed's preferred measure to still rise at 3.5% annual pace by year end, far above the 2% target. Oh, I see. So Yeah, but they're increasing interest rates, and it is actually having an effect. That's the difference to the UK. It's not really having the desired effect, is it? Well, I did talk about this before, but it feels to me that the Bank of England's trying to force a recession, and then I think it was last week. Late last week, I read an article about how or early this week actually might have been, how the Bank of England is trying to force a recession. It just seems like that's the only direction they got to take now. Forcing a recession through increasing the interest rates to a level for which so no one basically can sustain themselves, and they as prices get to a stage where people just lose their homes. Auditioning. They are printing money for themselves. They are. A limerick there. Okay. There was a woman called Nadine who drank too much chlorine. She thought it was gin, but felt sick from within. But so stupid she's moved on to sunscreen. She is a one, isn't she? She really is a one. I'm talking about stupid. Let's get back into stupid is as stupid does. Yeah. So, this geezer. He says about investment in employment for people like his son. That was his reasoning. Okay, at least he had a reason. It's a bit of a weak one, but it's still a reason. At the time, my son was 17 years old and in college, and I wanted him to be better off than me. I never done anything with brilliant. I've always done manufacturing, he says. I thought he could join an apprenticeship scheme and get himself into a trade. What apprentice schemes? There ain't any. What do you think to do? Leave the EU and all of a sudden they're going to just miraculously turn up. We'll pull ourselves out from, education schemes such as Erasmus and what have you. Now, I remember Boris Johnson saying that voting for Brexit would mean more apprenticeships to train people in emerging sectors. Wasn't that a few moments ago? Wasn't he saying he didn't believe Boris Johnson? This geezer doesn't know what he's talking about. He's just... Well, he said that sounded good to him. I had never had an opportunity. Yes, you have. That's not true. I wanted to give my son, and daughter, more of a future. It was a huge mistake. My son currently doesn't have a job, he struggled with college, but I hope that an apprenticeship might have helped him figure out what he wants to do. Well, you can blame the Tories for that one. Now, with 7 years of hindsight, Brexit was seems to be more about putting sanctions on ourselves. It was okay if it's putting sanctions on others, it seems, as you'll see in a minute. It was never about investing in our workforce, he says. It was about stricter police enforcement and stricter immigration. It's also about the Tories being able to hide their money. He says I'm not anti-immigration. No, I'm a good boy, I am. Yeah. I didn't think they would stop freedom of movement to and from Europe. How the hell do you work that one out? Third country rules. Of course they're going to stop it. You're either in the EU or you're out. You might have some caveats in between, such as the Trade and Cooperation Agreement, but it doesn't give you all, what you had before. Otherwise, why would they? Why would they? It makes no logical sense. No one's... Everyone would want to get out of the EU. If the EU gave all this stuff for free, why would you be in the club? He says, I never wanted Europeans to feel unwelcome in the UK, he says, when I voted to leave. Really? That's default. That is a default position. It was going to happen. You were going to cause animosity towards EU citizens who happen to reside in the UK. A lot of them are left, hence we've got massive shortage of nurses in the NHS. You try and get a builder these days. It costs a fortune. They've got flipping out waiting lists are huge. He said, when I voted to leave, I couldn't even fathom that would even be an issue. Really? Breaking point poster, anyone? The night that we officially left, the 31st of January 2020, he says here that he was managing cargo at his local airport. Up until the 31st of January, we were managing 60,000 packages to Europe a night. And on the 1st of February, we did 2,000 packages in just 24 hours. Things just fell off a cliff. Of course, he's grumpy now because he's at risk of losing his own flippin' job. He says, I couldn't believe it, he says. Now I'm worried about my children, thinking about that we had then, and now what we have now. He says it's soul-destroying. There's nothing here to inspire them. There are no benefits from them here. My dad lives in Spain, he says. Are they fellow? Are they still talking? I think Matt leaving the EU has damaged people in the UK far more than it has affected people in the EU. So was it okay for the effect, well, his father, he happens to live in the EU? Was that okay? Then you got, that Walton Penny father and Jacob Rees-Mogg. He said that Brexit was going to change everything. It has changed nothing. I have seen no benefits. My son isn't interested in politics. He thinks it's all false. Well, basically, they say all liars. That's how people feel about it now. Because they keep getting lied to. And yes, they were conned with Brexit, but they still fell for it. Did they fall for it? But, it brought out the nastiness in people. There's a deep hatred there, inside. Brexit just gave it that vessel. It's nuts. Now, don't get me wrong, we have to... I feel we have to examine opposing views. Otherwise, we end up in our own little bubble, our own little kind of, little protected zone where we don't engage with people who don't have our mindsets. Well, that makes us a part of the problem. I think sometimes we have to engage with people who have opposing views. Now, in the previous video, I just recently I kind of mentioned, who's that boxing geezer, a YouTuber? Andrew Tate. Oh my God. Well, I've watched some of his videos, what have you, and sometimes he says some things that I think, well, that's actually just common sense, really. That makes a lot of sense. And then there's a whole load of misogynistic, real nasty shit he talks about. And you think to yourself, I don't want nothing to do with that, But sometimes you kind of have to expose yourself to this stuff so you can make a judgment. Otherwise, what are you basing your stuff on? What you believe in? What are you basing it on? Would you rather it be like this, or would you rather it be like that? Well, anyway, he says that his son thought it was false. Politics, that is. He felt very disenfranchised when David Cameron resigned after the vote, he says. I think he felt abandoned. Now, I understand why he thinks that. On the other hand, my daughter's getting her A-levels results in August, and hope she will go to, university. And she might come out as being a vegetarian. Yes, Lee Anson. Anyway, now she's very politically active, and they both want to have a second referendum. It's not going to be much help. No. We've got a long way to go before we can even contemplate even having a second referendum. We're nowhere near there yet. It says here, well, I hope that my son sees there is light at the end of the tunnel, but at the moment, there is very little here to inspire him. So looking back, I wish I had known that the Brexiters had no plan. It wouldn't make any difference if they had one. This is Brexit. Everything about Brexit is negative. It's just that some things aren't quite as negative as other things. But there is no positives. Not what I can think of. Not for those in the UK, anyway. The policymakers, he says, have done nothing with it, they say. He says. Nothing helpful, he says. What? You tell me, what can you actually do with Brexit that benefits the United Kingdom? You've actually put a wall up with your nearest trading partners. It makes no sense. Well, the Brexit politicians have just lined their pockets and moved on. There have been no winners, he says. Now, most of my family voted Remain. Oh dear. They think I was a little bit head-put and naive. Okay. To put it politely, they were right. Brexit was a con. They tricked us into thinking we would be able to control our own destinies. No, they're giving that control away in the form of other trade deals with other countries. It's just how it is. It's what's happened. Now, Boris Johnson's slogan was, build back better. Now, we haven't built anything, he says, just more walls. And although I kind of feel for the gays in some ways, but in other ways I think, well, the only reason why you kind of hate this is because it's affected you negatively. And there's no consideration what have the fact has affected other people. There's no mention of other people in this. How Brexit has damaged other people's lives. Every single article I've seen where people whinging and whining because they can't do what they wanted to do post-Brexit and they voted for it, they have no empathy for anybody else by themselves. Well, it's not empathy, is it? It's just selfishness. Narcissism. It's not who they are. It's who these people are. Unfortunately. Hello, Abnormal Abner. Do Americans know where Spain and Portugal are? Some probably do not. But I'm sure Ginger's Giraffe, I'm sure yeah, you know. And Susan DeWitt, she spent a lot of her life there as well. And thanks, Susan, for the conversation on Twitter recently. It's been really helpful. I could recommend The Mirror of Halls Accused by Roy Harper, who judges who? Headphones recommended. Okay, I'll look at that. Scroll up. Actually, how long have I been live for? I didn't know how long I've been live for. There we go. What we got over here? It's not telling me. How long I've been live for? Why did it tell me how long I've been... Oh, that's because I'm on the wrong thing. It's not on there either. That's nuts. Oh, it does tell me that. 1 hour, 37 minutes. There you go. If you see what I'm working with here, is this, how can I show you? Oh, hang on. I possibly can. It's a much smaller setup to what I got in the office. So I put that on reverse around. It's like a mirror. Oh, who's that handsome fella? Oh. Okay. Unplug it first. Lead's too short. Okay. So what I got over here, I got this little Anchorworks webcam. I highly recommend that camera. That is not. It's on par, I think, with my face cam camera, and by Anchorworks. It even has a little shutter in it as well, a little privacy shutter, which is pretty cool. It's like a iris shutter. Let me show you. And they're cheap. They're about €50. Yeah, the iris shuts. So I got that. Obviously, that set up there was just basically my laptop, and then we got that and a little screen above here as well. So trying to get me to look at the camera board. Do you know what I mean? When it's too far away from each other, you lose eye contact. It feels strange to me when I see that. It's just me being pedantic, I suppose. Oh, but I hope the image here is actually looking okay. Considering it's nighttime artificial light, it's not bad. Oh, I don't think. I think it's sharp. It looks sharp to me. Is it sharp? Yeah, I think it's sharp. Anyway, but for a cheap webcam, much better than those Logitech 902s, whatever, or 920s, whatever. The rubbish they are. Joel says, no change for us. All the changes are for the Brits. Yes, pretty much. There is changes for you, buddy. Yeah. I'm sure you've had some industry that's relocated into Portugal. I'm sure you benefit somewhat from that, like many countries in the EU. I know of places where the only foreigners buying second vacation homes were nationals, and Spanish and Brits. Well, Spain and Italy, both of those two countries, and actually also Netherlands as well. I don't know if Portugal's in the same, I don't know. Are trying to slow down Andrew Tate. Simon says Andrew Tate, he's flipping awful geezer. He's a misogynist, nasty piece of work. But some of the stuff he says, he does actually. That's the problem with people like that. You see, they'll mix the two together. You'll have some really far right views, and then you have some maybe in a bit centre ground, and they're all in the same podcast. And they buy people into that. People buy into that, and then they'll suck up all the other rubbish as well. The thing, that's why we have to have conscious thought. We have to think things through. We need to, put ourselves in a place where we can make a judgment whether we want to accept what they're saying. I just want to be able to see what these opposing views are, so I can make my own judgment on them. Otherwise, we're in a bubble. You'll see some damage. Just you wait, says Billy Kershaw. Arthur, wake up. We've pissed the French off again. Oh no! Oh dear. Yeah. What gets me is most of those promoted Brexit have second and third homes in the EU countries, and even have dual citizenship and residency permits. They all got money. They all got that. Yeah, they get their golden visas and all that. You see. It becomes, I'm alright, Jack. Let's pull up the old drawbridge. That's pretty much what's happened. Look at Lars Prick Patel and Swellen Braverman, You'd have thought there'd be advocates for immigration, positive immigration, but no. It's just anti-immigration. It's nuts, because we need people. We're desperate for people to do the flipping work, aren't we? In the UK. It's just madness. It really is madness. Oh, there. But what can we do? There's very little. We've got very little control over the situation. But look on the positive side, though. At least Boris Johnson managed to raise £17 million for the Tory party. Ain't he a gem? He's a right darling, that one, isn't he? Yeah, okay. Well, Johnson put Tory donors in the Lords at twice the rate of any other PM since 2013. This is via the Open Democracy. Is it Boylan? Let's scroll down. So, Boris Johnson put Tory donors into House of Lords at twice the rate of any other Prime Minister, including David Cameron. I think he was the second largest. And about 50 Tory peers nominated during Johnson's time as PM. 14 were either already party donors or went on to donate money to the Tory party. The one campaign group told Open Democracy that the findings show that the current system is not fit for purpose, and said giving party donors roles in the Lords corrodes trust and in our democracy. Well, you don't say. The Open Democracy analysed 276 appointments to the House of Lords between 2013 and 2023, and over 10 years, and looked at the background and political donations of each appointee. The data shows the percentage of Johnson's appointments who were Tory donors was almost double that of David Cameron. They include a billionaire businessman, Michael Spencer, and Michael Hintz, as well as a multi-millionaire banker, Peter Curidas. And Johnson actually forced through the appointment of Curidas as the House of Lords, in 2021, despite the House of Lords Appointments Commission recommending against the appointment. And also, remember Lebedev as well, I'm sure that wasn't free. He also elevated former MP Zach Goldsmith to the Lords, and Goldsmith, who has recently resigned from the ministerial post over alleged government apathy on the environmental issues. Well, he's also donated over £500,000 to the party over the years. As you can see, they're all as bent as a 9-bob note. It just shouldn't. It shouldn't be allowed, should it? It really shouldn't be allowed. It's nuts. And now we've got Italy. Italy's battle against mass tourism. So Italy is preparing to welcome a record number of tourists in 2023, and cities and regions such as Venice and Sardinia are introducing bans and controls and fees to try to manage the crowds. But will they work? Possibly, possibly not. The tourists in Venice are expected to be on the main... Excusez-moi. So tourists in Venice are expected to be on their best behaviour. For years, the northern Italian city has been finding the negative aspects of mass tourism. Some individuals, they like to write their name on the side of the Colosseum. Others like to push over statues in, ponds. Not ponds, fountains. Although they were German. Sorry. And as a result, strict rules from vacationers are being enforced this summer. Now, it's now forbidden. This is nuts. It's now forbidden to walk around the city naked. You mustn't walk around the city naked. Don't do it. What if you're wearing a mankini? Is that allowed? Well, or to jump in the canals for a swim. Don't do that either. No. And tourists have also better watch where they take a seat. Sitting and lying down is prohibited on sidewalks, bridges, and on the sides of fountains and stairs. Violators will be fined. Blimey. Oh dear. Let me get these little cattle prods next and then zapping you as you grab a poo beside the, not poo, but as in a poo, as in a seat. Yeah, that sort of poo. Blimey. And there is talk about entrance fees as well. But anyway, we're on to 2 hours nearly now, aren't we? I think 1 hour 46. I am going to call it a night because my throat is literally disappearing. Let's just check the chat first. Let's bring it on that one. I think. No, not that one. Where's the chat gone? Oh, here it is. Pop out the chat. Before we go, I'm just checking the chat and see what we have here. Oh, Billy Kirkshaw said sorry, just popped out for a doobie. Isn't that called corruption? I would say so. Yeah, got a fly in there. Go away, fly. Yeah, I would say that is most definitely corruption. Hello, Airspeed Alive. I hope you're well. Let's just minimise that. I'm from Marseille. I still remember English football fan who destroyed the old harbour during the World Cup. Men are naked we were in the street, and they were smashing everything with their knobs. Is that what they're doing? Oh dear. Similar procedures are being taken here too. We are just more discreet. The Portuguese, like the Italians, but we always say they talk too loud. We're just quieter, says Joel. Now, what do you think was happening in Spain as well? There's a lot of restrictions being put in the Balearic Islands and places like that. You know, you can't walk along the promenade in your bikini and stuff like that. You've got to have that shawl or something on. I don't know, but I don't wear a bikini. No, a mankini for me, thank you. And then we got what else was there? Mustn't shit in the sea. Get fined for that. It's about €600 fine for shitting in the sea. Maybe you get out there, put flipping Thames Water out of business, wouldn't it? Yeah. Crikey. So all these new laws are coming into place. You mustn't ride your bike with headphones in, which I think is a good one. What else was there? There's loads. I can't think for life of me at the moment what they are. But there's ridiculous ones out there. Some make sense, I suppose. Did you check out any Chumbawamba? No. Yeah, cheers, Suzanne. Yeah, I've got my antibiotics now, so I hope I can get shot of this flipping throat thing. I've had it for 3 weeks now. No, 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Similar procedures are. Okay, scroll up. People think that it's very unusual, but look at me. Both my family sides are from Germany and France. Well, it's because you're on the continent, isn't it? It's quite normal, isn't it, really? It happens a lot, because people can move about freely. So it's quite nice, actually. I think it's quite a nice idea. This freedom of movement, like, it's such a wonderful idea. I don't understand why we don't do that in the UK. I know a lot of places where only foreigners buy second-hand vacation homes, where nationals, Spanish and Brits, and the majority of Brits are gone. Well, I know for a fact many Brits here in France, for instance, and I know quite a few in Spain as well, who have been selling their homes. And not for the prices for which they were valued before. Going for a song they are, you know. Now, I have a 4-bedroom house, not far from here. When I say not far from here, I mean it's literally over there. It's in the hamlet. And this 4-bedroom house, big house, got a bit of land with it as well. It's like the end of a row of houses in a hamlet. It's nice. That's all been renovated. It's all done. Sold for 40 grand. 40 grand that sold for. Okay, it's back on the market again now. It's 160. But even still, it's a large 4-bedroom house. Sort of central heating and what have you, and it's all well insulated, and there's all new windows and stuff. It's in good order. Crazy. I like Alistair Campbell, says David. Hello, buddy. Drago. He has a big ball to say how shit is Brexit. A big ball? You mean big balls? Yeah, we know you like that, buddy. I know. Yeah, he speaks out, doesn't he? He speaks out. Sometimes he can be a little bit come over as being a bit arrogant sometimes, but it's truthful. It feels honest. Abnormal Abner says, "Cause there isn't from everything I can see." Kids named. Okay, where are we? Argus, chill, mate. Let's go comedy. Oh, dear, I wish. There's so much going on, though, isn't there? Suzanne says, all shorts, but Boris said they'd have all the benefits. And we all know, according to the Dean, he tells the truth. The Prime Minister tells the truth. Now, I need to set up a soundboard or something here, don't I? Yeah. Have I got Nadine on there? I think. Have I got Nadine? Have I got Nadine? La la la. Oh, that I have. Is it gonna work? Oh, no, it won't work there. I'm gonna have to put it above. I've got to put it above the camera. Otherwise, it's going to work. There you go.
The Prime Minister tells the truth.
The Prime Minister tells the truth. Really? Scroll on that. Okay, it's back into the chat. Oh, thanks, Spancer. Thanks, Reagan. I very appreciate it, buddy. Thank you. I couldn't go on. I couldn't go on Snowflake show last night. I had to take the kids to the airport and my daughter to the airport, so I couldn't do that. I'm very sorry. I did leave a message. I did put a comment on the actual Snowflake show. Yeah, on that show. Billy Gerkshaw, how many are doing this? Doing what? I could tell you about people who buy caravans for £80. 80 quid? That's cheap. But what are the laws regarding... I think I did a video about this before, but what are the laws regarding towing caravans to France now, for instance? There's so many more restrictions. There's bound to be. Stuff they're getting checked now that isn't getting checked before. Scrolling up. I lived in Nottingham or Nottinghamshire or whatever, for 5 years, and remember the same people acting according to the law in England and going crazy on holidays while abroad. Now, this actually that brings back memories. That does. So many people I've met. Well, I say so many. One in particular, one chappie called David, and he used to rent a flat. Basically a room, actually not flat, a room in a flat share, and his house was disgusting. I mean, his room was disgusting. It was dire. I mean, because of him, you know, the rest of the building was fine. It was just his particular room, you know, and spaces, absolutely disgusting. But every time he left that house, he was pristine. I mean, he was so smart. Everything, his car, everything, he was smart. But he lived like a pig. Seriously. David Cameron would have loved him. So, You could explore the works of Jake Thackeray, and Caroline would giggle. And much love from north east of England. Is it Sunderland by any chance? Mustn't ride your wife with a blindfold. It's a fashion band fight. Very good, Topsman. Very good. Who's been taking poo into the sea? Yeah. Somebody must have been. Well, they're talking about actually loading a poo. Or unloading a poo. Your poo. An individual's poo. Somebody must have been caught for doing this. Defecating in the sea. Or something. You know, a floater can burst or something. That was you. Yeah. Oh, did you check out English number 1? But yes, I did. What's it called now? Let me check it out again. There was more than that anyway. I did check out some of it. Yes, very good. Thank you, Tim Toy. Mark, speedos are better than bikinis. Only if you are Graham Hoose. Yeah, he's got a thing about speedos. Anyway, I'm going to scroll down. Going to sleep, guys. Good night. No, buddy. Yep, I'm going as well. So, I am going to say good night. And thanks for joining us in my old shack here, which is basically an old caravan that I've ripped to pieces and found whatever crap I can find laying about and stick it to it. Pretty much. I need some more crap for that wall. That outside wall still looks like a caravan. So I need to do that. Yeah. Alright. Anarchy is a good album. Yeah, Chumbawamba. Oh, and Amnesia. I'm going to have to do that. I haven't got that. I haven't got that one. I've got quite a few. I've got about 1,000 records now. But, thousands? Over 900 anyway. There's quite a few. Where's Brest? Normandy, right? Oh, which Brest? Oh, that Brest. There's 2 Brests. I love being from different cultures. It's really actually quite good. Oh. You should explore the works of Jake Thackeray already. Right, okay. I see you have a rifle for Ginger's when she refuses to leave. Oh dear. Anyway, I'm going to say tonight, and thank you very much for joining us. It's very, very kind of you. What can I leave you with? God. Well, him. You can't see. I'll have to put it top there. I need to move that camera down because it's. Bring it down. It's too high. The camera's too high. There you go. If you hit the bottom, it does.
It's not my freedom of expression to protest violently. No, you can't just start a riot or glue yourself to the roads and get away with it. Yes, friends, as Attorney General, I had to go to court to get some of these simple truths established. The judges agreed with me last week in the Court of Appeal in the Colston statue case. And that's why our public order bill will empower our police to stop this nuisance. So whether you're Just Stop Oil or Insulate Britain or Extinction Rebellion, you cross a line when you break the law. And that's why we'll keep putting you behind bars.
I will be a bit surprised. No. Oh, there. Alright. Oh, you know what I forgot? Oh, there you are, Mad Monk. Feel about still. You spin me right round, baby, right round. Excellent. Anyway, I am going to make a move and I need to leave you with something first. But what? Not that one. Not that one. Ah, yeah. That one. If I put that over there, that's it. That'll work. Ta-ta. And have a lovely, Friday. Ta-ta. And thanks to the spanners and Ches Regularly, you've been a star, thank you.
Hell looks like for those
and I might go live again tomorrow. Hopefully,
without even a sketch of a plan how to carry it safely.
I think it was Max's show tomorrow. I'll probably see if I can go live before that. I need to catch up, you see, because I've been away for a bit. It's been noisy, that it has. So, time for me to go. I'm gonna say ta-ta, you know. So ta-ta. Now I've lost my flipping buttons. Where are my buttons gone? Oh my god, where are they? Oh, there's that bit. Oh, that's up here, isn't it? Look in the wrong place. Okay. Stop streaming. No, don't do it. Yes, do it. Yeah, do it.